welcome to the second of our Mat Life Skills self-care sessions. We did this morning, but for some reason the video didn't happen, so we're just filming it again because we did say that we would have it available for you to access if that was going to be helpful for you during the week, just to do this in the mornings or whenever was more convenient for you. My name is Irena and I'm another one of the Mat Life Skill instructors. Okay, so we're going to start with the code because that's what we do with the kids and it's such an important part of our program, and we just think it's helpful for adults as well as kids, just to remember these values and tools. That's what we're kind of working towards to embody, I guess. Okay, so we're going to start with our code. So we say be strong, be calm, be kind, and try hard. And with the strong one, we're talking a lot about mental strength as well as physical strength. Okay, so let's get started. So what I want you to do is put your feet about hip width apart. And with your knees kind of off lock, so just a little bit, so there's a little bit of tiny little bit of bend in there. We're just going to rock backwards and forwards. Guy did this one at the beginning of his session last week, and it's quite nice just to start to feel a bit connected with the ground and for grounding. Okay. Actually, and what I did forget is what I'd actually like you to do is, now that we've found that sort of balanced place on our feet, I just want you to close your eyes and feel yourself extending through the top of your head and down through your coccyx, which is the bone right down the bottom of your spine. So you feel like that's stretching towards the ground, and the very top of your head is stretching upwards, so your spine is nice and extended. And in that place, I want you to, with your mind, just go through your body and just notice how you're feeling now. So starting with your feet, just notice any feelings or sensations. So moving up through your calves, your knees, your thighs, hips, your belly, torso, chest. Notice your shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, hands. Notice your neck and your head. Just take a couple of breaths and just get an overall sense of how you're feeling. Okay, so just opening your eyes. What I want you to do now is place your thumbs, you're going to just gently grip your thumbs, and we're going to sink down into our knees, and with that feeling that we're extending down through the coccyx towards the ground and extending up through our heads. So we're going to breathe out and just bend down in towards the ground, and then breathe in and stretching up and breathing out, and really scrunching your hands and bending your knees, then breathing in. Up on your toes, don't worry if you can't balance, and breathing out. And up. Really expansive, and down. And breathing in, hands come up, and continue that breath in, and stretching, and out. Breathe in, open that chest and out. One more time, breathe in. And hands come down. And breathe out. Okay, so I explained briefly that with our breathing, that any of you that have done yoga might have learnt this kind of breath where a yogic type of breath, or it's like throat breathing. So you are breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, but you're putting a little slight block in your epiglottis. And it's just, if you imagine breathing through your throat, you'll pretty much do that. So just try that for a sec. So I was joking before, it's a bit like a Darth Vader breath because it's got that that sort of sound to it. So just try that again. So just that sort of throat breathing. So that's a really useful breath to have and consciously use, because what it does, it starts to soothe the nervous system, and it puts us more in a rest and digest mode rather than that kind of adrenalized, stressed kind of fight or flight response. So that helps us move from one state to the other using that breath. Okay, so I want to do an exercise now that's really helpful to relax your shoulders. Like, you're all probably doing so much work on your computers online. So again, with our feet are hip width apart, knees bent, and I want you to start doing a little bit of a gentle bounce into your knees. And then we're going to be putting the heels of our palms down towards the floor and lifting the shoulders and gently bouncing them down. And really using our breathing as we're doing this. You can breathe out through your mouth. Sometimes when we have those big out breaths, those kind of big sighing out breaths, that really helps to relieve tension as well. Okay, so 45-degree angle forwards, and we're still bouncing. Really try to bring your shoulders back. So see, if I go in this direction, you can see I'm really trying to pull my shoulders back. Okay, now up to 90 degrees. Still bouncing. This might feel a little bit strange, but it's really good for moving, giving you mobility all through your shoulders. Now we're moving up to right at the top. And as I was saying this morning, the person that taught me this exercise used to call this jumping for joy. So yes, if you can bring any of that into your day or your week, that's awesome. Okay, and now coming down. And we're going to continue our bounce. We're going to start bringing our arms down. Now crossing them over and all the way up, and then gently back, all the way down. Now fingers pointing backwards, then turn your hands the other way so the heels are going backwards. That's it, and slow that down. Great, okay, so sinking into your knees again. Now what I want you to do is to imagine like your torso is kind of like the spinning part in a top-loading washing machine. So we're just going to start moving around. So you're really moving from your hips. And what I want you to do is to allow your arms just to flop. So the movement is not coming from your shoulders. Your arms are just moving because your torso is moving. So you want your body again to be quite upright. When I do this with the kids in the schools, we call this spaghetti arms. So it's almost like your arms are that nice loose bit of spaghetti. So just use, you can slow it down a little bit actually. I was going quite fast there. But do it according to what feels right to you, because sometimes what we need to do, is do it a bit faster to help get that, bit of tension out. Okay, just slowing that down. And coming to upright. Okay, so just to finish that sequence off, what I want you to do is we're going to do like a roll down, and just to get our spine moving a bit more fluidly. So just with your thinking of your head first, you're going to move down, your head looking down, and we're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra. So the top of your back, all those thoracic vertebrae, just run one by one, rolling down, getting to the bottom of those, then now going down through the lumbar vertebra until you get down to the bottom, and just your knees are off lock. So just let yourself hang a little bit. Let your head be nice and heavy for a sec. Okay, then breathing in, you're going to do the same, just vertebra by vertebra. Rolling up. Until your head is the last thing that comes up. Okay, one more time. So head goes first, neck, top of the thoracic vertebra, right through the top of the back, moving to the lumbar spine, then all the way down, just hanging nice and loose. Breathing in. As you're coming up, you can use that yogic breath. And breathing out. Okay, so now it's the time for you to get your chair, or you can be sitting on your couch or on the floor. Just make sure in the frame. Okay, so everyone has a different body shape and type and level of flexibility. So just do this according to what works for you. So I'm going to bring my foot up, and we're going to start to give our feet a little bit of a massage. So I want you to work quite strongly into your toes. So I'm really using my thumbs into the backs of my toes, each one toe at a time. And as you can see, there's a bit of a rocking sensation. So I'm sort of using my whole body in a sense to work into my toes. Now really work into the tops, into the balls of your feet, all the way across. And now there's a point here just below the ball of your foot. It sort of dips in. So I really want you to work into there. And we're going to try to do that in a little bit more of a rhythmic, sustained way. So we'll go press in, 1, 2, 3, and release. And again, 1, 2, 3, and release. And one more time, 1, 2, 3, and release. Okay, and now we're going to work through this top arch of the foot down to the heel, and really work into the heel. So you can give that a nice kind of rub with your two thumbs. So you might get the feeling that you want to sigh and sort of release that breath, release that tension. So anytime you feel like doing that, that's a good thing. So we'll bring our toes backwards and forwards and rotate our foot. Great, now put that foot down, and I want you to now see if you can feel the difference between your 2 feet, and hopefully what you're feeling in the foot that we just worked on, it's got a sense of life and vitality in it compared to the other one. So we'll do the other foot. So working in to behind the toes. And ball of the foot. Now find that spot here. Just pressing in there. I'm going to press in 3 times. So 1, 2, 3 and release. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3 and release. And one more time. 1, 2, 3 and release. Great. All right, now working up the arch, a top arch, down into the heel. We'll move our toes backwards and forwards and rotate. Good. And placing your feet on the floor. Now we're going to work on our hands. So we'll just give a little bit of a tap to start off with. So now this, again, it's like this sort of center point in the middle of the palm. If you place your hand on your leg or wherever is comfortable, we're going to work in again with our thumb into that point. And again, we'll do 3 a bit more sustained kind of presses. So go 1, 2, 3 and release. 1, 2, 3 and release. And again, 1, 2, 3 and release. Good. Okay, we'll go on the other side. So I was saying this morning as well, like this is kind of a nice one that you can do discreetly if you're in one of those Zoom meetings and you're a bit over it, and yeah, if you sort of feel that need that you need to release a little bit of tension, you can just discreetly do this under your desk or with your hand. So again, we can, yeah, you can do this kind of, you know, any time that you have access to your hands. Okay, so go 1, 2, 3 and release. 1, 2, 3 and release. 1, 2, 3 and release. Great, and shake. Hands out. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit of tapping up here on the thymus gland. So if you've got that little nice little sort of hole there, just below that kind of Adam's apple-y throat area, and then you just go down and just where the kind of chest bone, breastbone rises up a tiny bit. Yeah, you can give that a little bit of a tap. And have a nice breath. And you can, you know, just do this. If this feels better, you can also do this kind of circular motion. This is quite good for your immunity. Okay, so we're going to work along under the collarbone now. So just in these points with the tops of your fingers, you can open your shoulder out a little bit. So if you're feeling any kind of emotional stuckness, this area is possibly quite tender, might be tender anyway. So let's work the other side as well. So just under that collarbone area. And just try to notice, what feels good for you, like what kind of rhythm and pressure. Your body will tell you what it needs. Okay. Oh, so you might even be noticing now that you're feeling a little bit different, hopefully, than you were right at the beginning. Okay, so we're going to work now doing a little bit of massage on the back of our heads. So we're going to use our thumbs or our fingers right on the edge of that occipital bone. So if you go right in the middle, it's kind of like almost like there's a little hole right where your neck, the spine, your cervical spine goes right up into your skull. So just pressing up against the edge of that bone. Like really see if you can get in there with your thumbs. So much tension gets held in that area. And really work all the way down towards your ears. There's that circular bone right on the backs of your ears. So right up under there. So doing that a couple of times. Oh, good. All right, so now we'll do a little bit of tapping. So if you can tap on the center of your forehead and moving back over the top of your head. We can tap along again to where we were going in with our thumbs before. And now the next one, so just above your eyes, if you tap on your forehead and bringing that all the way back in your head. And now just another sort of line out all the way to the back. And now just this area just kind of above and behind your ears. This is a really good one as well. Like you can just get in there with your fingertips as well. Really rubbing behind there and can feel quite good. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of circling on our temples, a little bit on the top of our, or middle of our cheek bones. Work along there. In front of the ears, these could all be quite tender. So now just coming down to this kind of big muscle above that kind of jawbone, the masseter muscle. Lots of tension can be held there from that kind of jaw clenching. So just work into that a little bit. Don't forget to use your breath. It's often quite sore in there. Again, you can do that 1, 2, 3 and release. 1, 2, 3 and release. 1, 2, 3, and release. That's it. Okay, so just grabbing, so with a nice straight extended spine and your head coming up, we're just going to gently pull our head forward and back. And now you're kind of looking a little bit of an angle. We're not quite to the side, but somewhere in between. And we're going to pull our head forward again. Just giving a nice stretch. And to the other side. And now we are going right down to the side, just carefully. And the other side. Okay, so let's get off our chairs. Pull that out of the way. And we'll just finish off with just a little bit more stretching and going slightly more dynamic again. So rolling shoulders forward and rolling shoulders back. And we're going to breathe in, scrunch right up and let that tension go. And again, breathing in and out. And letting that go, and one more time, and out. Okay, so we'll do a little exercise now called Uchigatami, which one of the translations of this I've heard is waking up the house. So that's a good thing to help us get present, before we need to do some kind of, work or attend a meeting or teach a class. Okay, so, we're going to start with just the side of our head. And tapping into our shoulder, down the front of our arm, coming back to our shoulder, and gently, little bit around the chest. Come to the other side, tapping into our head, down our neck, into our palm, back up the arm, and again, a little bit around the chest. So then we're going to turn around and, well, you don't have to turn around. I'll turn around to show you. We'll reach up and just as high as we can, and gently over the kidney area, lower back area. Turn back around so we can work into the sacrum and sort of glutes. We'll go down the sides of our legs all the way down the backs of our legs. Tapping up the insides and now the fronts of our legs, and gently slapping up the thighs. So hopefully you're just feeling now a little bit of a kind of a loosening, but a bit more of an energized feeling. So we're going to finish with a couple of breathing exercises. This one is really good for the lungs, so I want to get you to interlock your fingers, and we're going to breathe in, stretching up and turning, breathing out, breathe in, turn to the other side, breathe out, and you're coming up onto the toe of the other side, breathing in, and breathing out. We're really trying to stretch those arms. Breathing in and breathing out. And hands back to your head, and down. So I hope that has helped you to feel a little bit more prepared for your week, and that gives you a sense of, looking after yourself, which you really need to do under the present circumstances. So I hope that's been helpful. I'm going to finish with our code again. So, and I hope this for everybody, that we can all be strong, be calm, be kind, and try hard. Okay, thank you for joining me.